In this module, we'll make certificate validation work in real-world environments. You'll see how CDP and AIA URLs connect your CAs, CRLs, and HTTP servers to Windows clients, and how tools like PKIView, certutil, and chain tests confirm that everything is reachable and trusted end-to-end. You've already built a solid foundation. First, you learned the core PKI concepts: keys, certificates, trust chains, and revocation, using CRLs and OCSP. Then you built an Azure-based ADCS lab and designed your enterprise PKI. Finally, you deployed an enterprise CA and enabled both manual enrollment and auto-enrollment. When a client receives a certificate, it has to answer two questions. Can I build a trusted chain? And has this certificate been revoked? AIA URLs tell the client where to download issuing CA certificates so it can complete that chain. CDP URLs tell it where to fetch CRLs to confirm the certificate is still valid. If either location is wrong or unreachable, you'll see failed logons, TLS errors, and even full application outages. When Windows receives a certificate, it first checks the basics. Is it within its validity period, and does the subject or SAN match what you're connecting to? It also verifies that the certificate's intended usage is appropriate for what you're doing. After those checks, Windows tries to build a chain to a trusted route. If an intermediate is missing, it follows the AIA URL to download it. Then it uses CDP locations to pull CRLs and perform revocation checks. Any failure in chain building or revocation validation leads to warnings or outright rejection. The CDP extension is a pointer inside each certificate that tells clients where to download the revocation list for that issuing CA. Those URLs might be HTTP, LDAP, or even a file share, but HTTP is most common because browsers and many applications can reach it easily. If that CDP location can't be contacted, the client may have to guess, and you lose reliable, consistent revocation checking. When a client only has the server certificate, it still has to find the issuing CA to build a complete chain to a trusted route. The AIA extension is a set of download locations for that missing issuing certificate. During chain building, the client follows those URLs, retrieves the CA certificate, and continues validation. If those URLs are wrong, unavailable, or blocked, the chain can't be completed and the certificate will fail. It helps to think of CDP and AIA as answering two different questions. CDP says, given this certificate, where do I download the CRL to see if it's revoked? AIA says, given this certificate, where do I download the issuer's certificate so I can build the chain? Both are baked into the certificate at issuance. When those URLs are wrong, clients may fail revocation or chain checks until the certificate is replaced. When you decide where to publish CRLs and AIA information, think in terms of who needs to reach them. HTTP is the workhorse. It's simple, firewall-friendly, and works for domain and non-domain clients, including external users. LDAP is ideal for internal domain-joined machines, but usually stops at the corporate boundary. File paths mainly serve the CA itself or admin processes. Design publication, so every certificate-consuming system has at least one reliable, reachable path. With HTTP publication, the CA's job is simply to drop CRLs and CA certificates into a folder, and IIS handles the actual web hosting. The site uses a stable DNS name, like pki.contoso.com, so those URLs can be embedded in certificates and never change. Clients and devices then fetch the latest CRL over HTTP, without prompts or authentication, as long as firewalls allow it. Whenever the CA republishes, everyone automatically sees the updated files. CDP and AIA locations define where clients fetch revocation data and CA certificates. In the Extensions tab, think in pairs. Each entry has a publication path and a decision about whether that URL is embedded in issued certificates. For CDP, choose reliable HTTP or LDAP paths and enable only the options you actually need. Apply the same approach for AIA, typically including an HTTP path for chaining. Remember that any change here requires restarting certificate services. In the lab, we keep things simple by using a single friendly DNS name, pki.contoso.com, that always resolves to the IIS server hosting our CA files. Both the CDP and AIA URLs use that host and the certenroll virtual directory. The variable parts, like CA name or CRL suffix, are filled in automatically by the CA. Just confirm that DNS resolves correctly and that cert enroll allows anonymous read access, so any domain client can validate certificates reliably. CRLs are only useful if clients can actually download a current copy. Base CRLs give a complete picture of revoked certificates, while Delta CRLs provide just the changes since the last base, saving bandwidth and time. Your role is to ensure they're published on schedule, hosted on a reachable HTTP path, and never allowed to expire. During configuration changes, manually publish with the CA console or certutil, so you always know exactly what clients will see. PKIView is your quick health dashboard for the entire PKI. Run PKIView, MSC from a domain-joined machine, and it automatically queries every CA CDP, Delta CRL, and AIA locations. Green means the files are present and current. Yellow or red means the CRL is expired, the URL can't be reached, or a CA certificate is missing. Use those red and yellow indicators as your starting point before moving on to certutil or deeper log analysis. Certutil gives you a repeatable way to prove where the problem actually is. Start with certutil URL to see whether CDP and AIA URLs can be reached and which ones fail. Then run certutil, verify to watch how the chain is built and how revocation is checked. If URLs fail, confirm HTTP access with a browser or PowerShell. Finally, inspect the certificate extensions to ensure new certificates are publishing the correct locations. You've now assembled the core validation pieces of your PKI. CDP locations expose CRLs so clients can detect revoked certificates. AIA locations deliver issuing CA certificates and complete chains. Publishing all of this over HTTP with IIS makes it broadly usable. With these pieces in place, your PKI is ready to secure IIS, RDP, and other enterprise services.